welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to discuss the HTTP adapter in SAP PI, how to use it and how to configure a receiver HTTP adapter in SAP PI. The first thing is that why do we need a HTTP adapter? So whenever there is a requirement where you need to call a web server and you need to make a HTTP request that may be a post or a GET request. In those scenarios, you have to use the HTTP adapter. Having said that, let's look at the interface design. So here, what I have done that I have taken FTP server, and that FTP server has one file which will be read by my sender channel, which will use the FTP adapter. So this will be my trigger point of the interface. And using that file, I'm not worried about the content of the file. The content can be anything, but I'm just using that file to trigger and start the process where the receiver channel is going to make the call to the web server. So once that file has been picked up, it will reach to PI. Inside PI, what I'm going to do that I'll write a Java mapping to create the structure of the HTTP call, and that structure will be used by my receiver channel, and that receiver channel is going to make the call to the receiver side web server. And once that call is made, so it will be a post call. Once the call is made, I'm expecting that the web server will respond me with an XML. So these are the objects which I'm going to create, and these are the ID objects. And similarly, I have only two ESR objects which I'm going to create to achieve this scenario. Having said that, I'll jump into my PI system and I'll show you that how we are going to create the objects one by one. And before that, this is my Postman. So I'm using the xmlsoccer.com, this web server, to make the call. And I'm using here a post method, and in the body, if you can see, I have selected www/form URL encoded type of body, and I have given the API key, and using these details I am making a post call to my server. So this is my host, and this is the port, and this is the resource. So I'm using these informations which have been provided here in the manual of XML Soccer's documentation. So if you have not seen my previous videos, uh, you might not connect to what I'm saying, but if you want to check more about this particular web server, you can go back to my channel and search the soap to soap scenario, where I've explained how to configure this web server and website for yourself, and how to customize it, and how to make soap calls. So I'll link that video in my description box. You can check, and I explained everything in detail over there. So I'll go back to my Postman. I'll show you what is the response which I've got while I make the HTTP call. So this is the detail of all the teams of a Scottish soccer league, and I've got the list of the teams which are participating in that league. So when I make my interface, I'm expecting that when I make a successful call over here, I'm going to get the same XML. So let's jump into our PA systems and try to make our scenario. I'm in my integration builder, and I'll create the ID objects. I'll first start with a folder. I'll name it as HTTP scenario. save it and activate it. Once this is done, I'm going to create my business component, and this is for the sender side. So I'll take the name from here, that is BC HTTP scenario sender. I'm going to paste that and create, save, activate. Similarly, I'm going to create business component for receiver side. So I'll take the name from here, create a new object, business component, HTTP receiver, create, save, and activate. So my business components are ready. Now I'm going to create the communication channels. So this is my sender communication channel, and this is using the FTP sender adapter. I'll use a pre-existing communication channel and copy all the parameters from that. So first I'll create this communication channel and use the business component. Create, I've created, and now I'm going to use this file sender communication channel to copy the parameters. So my sender communication channel is ready. I'll close this. Now I'll create my receiver communication channel. I'll use the HTTP adapter, and remember, use HTTP AAE adapter. This is the Java adapter, which is basically in the single stack PI. So I use that, and I'll use it on the receiver side, and I'm going to use the post method. As I have shown you, that in my Postman I have all these information filled in already, so I'm going to copy paste from here. So this is my host name, and 80 is the port. So 80 is the default port for HTTP call, and 443 is for the HTTPS, and this is my path. So apart from this, I have to configure the header fields. So for header fields, I'll go to header and check the content type. I'm going to copy paste this content type. This. Okay, so my HTTP receiver channels configuration is complete. Now only one thing is missing is the ICO. For ICO, first I'll go and create the imported archive and the operation mapping. So I am in my ESR now. I'm going to create a new folder, name it as HTTP scenario. So I'm going to create operation mapping. And I'm going to leave the namespace as it is. Here I'm going to give the dummy service interface. So I have not given the Java class name here. For that, I need to go and create the imported archive. I'll go to mapping objects and create the imported archive. And now for the file. So I have created this Java project, and I'm going to use this Java project for my jar file. So this is a Java project. If you can see in the class, I have not done much. The only thing which I am doing here is writing my API key inside the output payload. So that is it. However, if you want to see that how to create the Java mapping, I have created a lecture on that as well, and you can find it in the playlist of my channel. So entire class, or change the name and make it as scenario. Save it. Now export it. Now if you can see, I have successfully imported my zip file. I'm going to save it and activate. Okay, so I'll check the processing log. Okay, so in my operation mapping, I have given this as message mapping. So I'll activate this as a separate entity, and then I'll go to my operation mapping and change the configuration. So I'll change from message mapping to Java class, and use a HTTP scenario here. Activate. Now one final thing which is left is the ICO. I'm going to create the ICO here. So business component, is BC HTTP sender, interface, so there is the name of operation mapping, and in the outbound processing we have this communication channel. One more thing which I'd like to do is to store all the staging steps and to log the logging steps. So our interface is ready. Let's go and test it. Stop this and start. So this is my message, and I have a successful message. If you can see, the sender component and the receiver component is mentioned, but what I'm interested in is to check the response. So if I open this message, if you can see, all the steps have been logged and staged. So if you check the payload, after mapping payload has the API key, and the before mapping payload has something coming from the file. So I'll close this. Let's go and check the response. So okay, so let's check the response. Something is scheduled here. What is that? Okay, so I'm not getting my response yet. Let me check what is the reason. The reason might be that I have not given the quality service as best effort. Let's activate it once more. Let's check it now. So I'll go again. I'll close the channel. So I'm stopping my channel, starting again. Okay, so here I have the successful calls. So if you can see that this is from the receiver side. So I changed the quality of service in my file adapter or file channel, and I'm getting the response message now. So let me see the payload. It says that non-text payload message, it cannot be displayed. So I'm going to download it. So this is my main document 7. Show it in the folder and open with Notepad. Okay, so it is saying that I have made too many requests and I should wait for 15 seconds. Let me check the first request then. Does this have anything? Yes. So this happens. The previous request said that I have made too many calls within a given time frame, so I was not getting the correct response. However, the previous call has this correct response where I am getting all the name of the teams which have participated in this Scottish League. So if you can see this team ID 45, 46, and so on and so forth. So this is how you configure the HTTP adapter on receiver side. Let me know if you want me to make video on something else, and if you have any suggestion, let me know about it in the comment box. Till then, thank you.